Hey guys, what's up? It's your old pal C Bro again with another video, and I'm technically reviewing the whole Halloween franchise because the new Halloween that's coming out is this October, but it's just called Halloween basically, but it should be called Halloween H4O 40 years later. But that's not the movie I'm going to be reviewing. The other movie I'm going to be reviewing is Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers. Now, Halloween 4 takes place 10 years after the original film, so honestly, it takes place that introduces us to Danielle Harris, who plays Michael's niece that he has no idea about, and he chooses his 7-year-old niece as his next target, with the unfortunate death of Laurie Strode in 1980. I've done my research, because it happened in November 1980, she died in a car accident. Anyways, Michael Myers wakes up from a comatose state and intends on killing his 7-year-old niece. But Jamie unfortunately gets hallucinations in the whole film because somehow she knows her uncle's gonna kill her. She sees a Smith's Grove ambulance outside her house where she stayed up um until like 4 a.m. in the morning, which I am not surprised by the fact. So anyways, this movie takes place 10 years after the first Halloween in 1978, but this was released in October of 1988, so 10 years later. So, anyways, the the ambulance crew picks up Michael's body for transport, and they talk about his surviving-year-old niece. Like, for instance, the head nurse, uh, the head nurse of the ambulance crew says, did Hoffman say anything about any living relatives? And Hoffman says, no, not Hoffman, but the other guy says, yeah, Anis living in his hometown. But Hoffman tells him, drive carefully, right? And here's why I get confused here. Drive carefully? Really? You're gonna put that in this film? You know, you basically just signed their death certificates, right? I mean, really, you just basically signed their death certificates. So, moving on from that standpoint, so they talk about a surviving niece. Michael wakes up, and oh, I'm sorry, I'm just calling a bunch of BS on this one. Basically, I'm causing a bunch of BS on here. I'm calling it on here. All right. He's been in a coma since the explosive of Hanfield Memorial in '81, and 10 years later, he wakes up after hearing about his surviving niece and jams his thumb through the paramedic's forehead? I mean, really? That's just that's that's just impossible. I mean, you think if you were in a coma for 10 years, your muscles would be totally useless. But unfortunately for Myers, anything's possible. So, anyways, he bashes the paramedic's head, jams his thumb through his head. And it's very unclear whatever happened to the female paramedic and the ambulance driver. It makes no sense what happened to those two, but Jamie, of course, staying up, seeing the Smith's Grove ambulance, knowing that her uncle is going to kill her. Apparently, she questions her stepmother, Rachel Carruthers, who Laurie babysat in the first film, which we never actually got to see because it must have been a deleted scene. So, anyways, wait a minute. Jamie got adopted by the Carruthers family? What the devil? I mean, sure, Laurie Strode died between Halloween 2 and Halloween 4, but why couldn't she just been sent to live with family? I mean, relatives that have the same DNA, for Christ's sake. I mean, really? Seriously, that's stupid. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind if well, I wouldn't mind if the Doyles adopted her, for Pete's sake. So, what the heck, man? Anyways, Jamie prays to God that her uncle won't find her, right? But apparently she has a nightmare about her uncle coming to kill her. The door opens in her closet and she goes inside, finding a doll was knocked over off the shelf and on the floor, with a container holding memoirs of her mother. So, what happens? The door opens again. She goes near it, but Michael grabs her leg and tries pulling her under the dang bed. She claws her way onto the floor, right? And of course, Michael sets up beside her bed with. Okay, what's with this mask that they're using? I mean, it looks cheap. I mean, it's a cheap looking mask, and I think George P. Wilbur played a dang good Michael Myers in a Halloween film. But the mask? What is wrong with you people? You could have chosen the mask from the original film, but this mask isn't the original. I mean, really. I mean, I can understand. I can understand the whole point of them not using the original mask, but this is ridiculous. Like, honestly. Like, no offense or anything. This mask makes him look freaking stupid. I mean, no kidding. It makes him look stupid. They could have went with the original mask for that film, but I'm sorry, but they just didn't. It just makes no sense. I mean, the mask really looks like this. When he had that look in the whole film, I just don't know, man. I mean, really. It just doesn't make sense. Why would they choose that mask in the beginning just to go for Peach? Just to go for George P. Wilbur's type of persona as Michael Myers? What the heck? And to make matters worse, Sheriff Brackett's not even in this one. What the heck? I mean, really, I can understand Dr. Loomis trying to warn them of Michael's return, but the fact that Brackett retired in 81? Come on, what's wrong with that? It barely makes any sense, man. None of this makes sense. None of it. So, anyways, Dr. Loomis confronts. No, actually, we talked to Sheriff Ben Meeker, the new one in '88. He says this. Well, I can do a perfect Donald Pleasance impression. It sucks that he died in 1995, but we'll get to there in the whole reviewing of the franchise. So here we go. This is my best Donald Pleasance by Donald Pleasant's impression of him talking to Sheriff Meeker. Excuse me, I need to talk with Sheriff Brackett. They don't need to have to travel here around 100 miles south of here. What? Brackett retired in 81. Well, who's new? Well, who's the new sheriff? Well, who's the new sheriff? My name is Dr. Loomis. No one has forgotten your name, especially in this town. What brings you back here after 10 years? Michael Myers has Michael Myers has escaped. He's here in Haddonfield. Why? 10 years ago, he tried to kill Laurie Strode. Now he wants her daughter. Now he wants her daughter. You're talking about Jamie Lloyd? Myers has been locked up since before she was born. 6 bodies, Sheriff. That's what I've seen between here and Richmond. A gas station building in flames. I tell you, Michael Myers is here in this town. He's here to kill that little girl and anyone who gets in his way. I assume what you're saying is true. It's true, Sheriff. Okay. What can we do to avoid? What can we do to avoid the repeat of 10 years ago? Find this child. Get her someplace safe. Anyways, yeah, that's the dialogue I heard when Dr. Loomis was confronting Chef Meeker, warning him of Myers' escape. Later that night, Michael goes to a power plant, a nearby power plant in Haddonfield. Like, no joke. And for someone who's been in a coma since the explosion of 81, he picks up the son of a gun who's working there and throws him in the power plant, cutting power to the entire town. How can you do that after waking up 10 years after being in a coma? I mean, really? What's the point of him coming back in the first place? It makes no sense. None of it. Anyways, this girl, right? After making out with her boyfriend, goes up to the rocking chair with a cup of coffee. He was going to give it to the so-thought sheriff, but she gets a little candle, sees the body, and Michaels impales her with a shotgun double-barreled. A double-barreled shotgun! That'll make a great Mortal Kombat fatality move. Not gonna lie, it'll be a good Mortal Kombat fatality move. Because there's one thing I've noticed after watching every Halloween film. Myers does not like witnesses. Anyways, before that, Jamie gets picked on. She gets picked on constantly because no one in her whole town would remind her. No one in her whole town would stop reminding her that she's the niece of Michael Myers. So, including her jerk-faced friends who are not letting her forget it. So, yeah, anyways, that night after the impalement, Brady, of course, along with Jamie and Rachel, go downstairs. Well, they go back to the house, right? They don't even see Myers. So, how does he find his way in? How does he find his way in the house after that many times? Yeah, anyways, first he punches first of all, he finds a photo that finds out that he has a niece. which is not surprising because he wants to kill his entire bloodline. So, anyways, Myers, of course, sees a dog at their house and snaps his neck, unfortunately. Anyways, so Jamie goes to the Vincent Drug, which is the drugstore that was shot in Utah, where this film was shot. So she goes to find a costume on Halloween, and she finds an iconic clown costume. She finds an iconic clown costume similar to the one her uncle wore when he was 6 years old the night he murdered his sister on Halloween 1963. Then she backs into him after he appears behind her, thus causing her to fall into the mirror. Now, how could she fall in the mirror without a cut on her? That was my question on the whole deal when I first started seeing this film. So, my main answer for that is she's durable like her uncle, I suppose. Anyways, when Michael yet again grabbed a knife, of course. Oh wait, he didn't have a knife in his hand this time. Brady and Rachel were worried about what happened to Jamie because even though she's like 7 years old in that film, she she was hiding upstairs taking a nap or something. Anyways, Michael finds his way back in the front door. This causes Brady to tell the girls to get upstairs while he tries to load his shotgun before Myers gets there. Here's an idea, but he tries to shoot it, but he misses. Well, I have a good piece of advice. How about you load the shotgun, wait for him to get up there, then shoot his head off? That would make more sense, because, well, you'll see what happens. Anyways, he loads the gun too late, shoots it at Myers past his shoulder when he was trying to grab him. Of course, this idiot decides to punch Myers in the face twice, but it led to his own crushing skull demise. Then Michael heads upstairs, grabs a knife. Rachel breaks the window to the top of the roof and got out of there. All right, he got out of there, but he was walking on the roof, going towards Jamie and of course Rachel. Rachel fell off the roof alongside Jamie, surviving. She tries to wake him up, but Michael appears. She tries to wake her up, but Michael appears behind her, and she's running from him. Anyways, Dr. Loomis picks up Jamie and brings her to the schoolhouse, which unfortunately sets off the alarms, sets off the bells ringing, causing Michael to know the location of where she's going. She sees him on the staircase as she fell down, leaving Rachel, who surprisingly survived her encounter with him. And when he was going down to kill his niece, she took a fire extinguisher, man. A fire extinguisher. She took a fire extinguisher and obviously sprayed it on him, causing him to be temporarily blind, and just got away. Before that, Dr. Loomis was going in the school to find a safe place for Jamie. But here's the catch that kind of caught my eye. For all of you who don't know what mask was Michael Myers wearing, he was wearing a spray-painted William Shatner Captain James T. Kirk, by the way. He was wearing that type of mask, spray-painted, hair slicked back. So, anyways, the mask he was wearing That was William Shatner one, the original one from Halloween 2, except that one was spray painted with blonde hair. He was wearing the William Shatner mask, the original one. He was wearing that one, and he threw Dr. Loomis in the glass door. Way before that, Rachel sprayed him with a fire extinguisher. From that point, they have a chase scene between Michael and Rachel. Unfortunately, Jamie Lee Curtis didn't do that for another 20 years. So, anyways, Michael kills Earl as he's driving because he got on the back of the car somehow and threw everyone off. He climbed on top of the car, used his hand, broke it through the glass window, and cut Earl's throat with his hand. Okay, that's impossible. Moving on, Rachel takes the wheel after pushing Earl out of the car, and Michael is still on top of the car, and he tries to kill Rachel, but her sweater's ripped. But then it got reattached after she pulled her arm away from Michael's hand, which causes him to slam his head into a windshield for some reason. Geez, George P. Wilbur, I didn't know you had that much strength. In order to play your character, you must have been really ticked off. Anyways, Rachel slams the brakes and he falls off, causing him to get up and turn towards the car. Before running off the road, she says, "Die, you SOB." So she runs him over, but he survives. He kind of got unconscious after falling near a mine shaft where the graveyard is. He lays there for a minute until Jamie goes up to touch his hand. Because Rachel and the cops warned her not to go near him. So, unfortunately, due to the circumstances, she touched his hand, which sent a telekinetic psychic connection. So, anyways, she touches his hand. Myers gets up and tries to kill her, but the cops shoot him at least I'm pretty sure it was 98 times with bullets and machine guns from Earl's lynch mob and the cops squad. So point being, Michael falls down a mine shaft, and they chuck a TNT stick or grenade. A TNT stick of dynamite for a grenade? Why couldn't they just use a fogged up one like they did in the Marines? Come on, people! God! Anyways, that night, as the girls returned home, Dr. Loomis made a standard point when he came with them. This is his dialogue they said. "Michael Myers is in hell, buried where he belongs." Anyways, the night as Jamie's adoptive mom, was getting her bath ready, you get like a look through her POV. And as I'm looking through her eyes, as she grabs a pair of scissors, dons on the clown mask, and impales, actually, and stabs her foster mother with a pair of scissors. And you probably ask yourself, isn't that what Michael did in 63? They reenacted that part. So if they didn't reenact that part, if they didn't reenact it, they wouldn't have stole the idea. Anyways, you see, after the events of Halloween 3, John Carpenter divorced himself from this film. So Dwight Ainsworth was assigned to direct. Danielle Harris played Jamie Lloyd, the main protagonist. And of course, Mustafa Akkad was assigned to write because he wanted to bring Michael Myers back in the picture. So he came up with the idea. Anyways, the clown costume when Jamie kills her foster mother. Yeah, that was a reenactment from the first film, but Loomis kept yelling no and tries to shoot her with a BB gun, but the sheriff, actually he tried to shoot him with a Magnum. The sheriff holds his arm down, and that's the end of Halloween 4. I think this movie got released on October 9th of 1988. Who knows?